chatters, what is good? Today we are listening to SSERAFIM or SSERAFIM for the first time. I know this group a little bit. I know it's a girl group. I don't know any of their names, to be honest. I've probably seen, things around. If I see the names, I'd be able to tell you. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna listen for the first time, and it's a part 1 album, so there's obviously another part to come. So I thought it was a good starting place, and obviously it's new music. So anyways, guys, if you do like this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, and if you want more of this group in particular, do the following. But yeah, I know at least this first intro is not in English, so I do have my translated lyrics right here pulled up to the side, but I'll leave it off screen because I kind of want the automated captions on YouTube to do its thing, if you guys want those, obviously, the viewer. But yeah, anyways, let's get into song 1, PUREFLOW, intro track, title track. Okay, intro track, PUREFLOW. Is it building? Okay.
슬픔을 왜 나눠? 힘들면 혼자 힘들지. 남까지 힘들게 하잔 거야? 구원은 셀프로 하시고.
卑屈になってないで笑いなよ。泣きたいなら一人でこもって泣いて。
Okay.
何を済ました顔してるの?
Compose face.
You and me both. We're all weak inside. What does that leave you with? An ounce of pride? Seriously? You're really okay with this?
Okay.
実のところ踏み込んでほしいんでしょ。結局私たちって同じなんだから。눈물로 추적해진 얼굴.
The face of suffocating shame.
そんな癖して弱い自分が悔しくて仕方ないって顔。
아, 망했다.
Okay. I like that.
私たち崖っぷちでアクセルを踏もう.
우리의 슬픔은 우리밖에 모르잖아.
What seems like rock bottom is actually our way out.
ありがとう。私と手をつないで落ちてくれて。
아직 아물지 않은 상처를 부대껴줘서.
다시 쓰리자. For we are not fearless.
Okay.
Therefore powerful. Pure flow runs through us.
Okay, interesting. Interesting little intro track. It's definitely painting the scene for me. I like it. Pure flow. See, I'm excited to see how this kind of just builds towards the album, right? It's like kind of that unifying, it went through the kind of senses of shame and, just a hard time. You and me both, we're all weak inside. What does that leave you with? An ounce of pride. Think of, it's just a thought-provoking kind of intro track, and it leaves me curious as to what is to come. Because there's moments of like building someone up, but then tearing your own self down. Like towards the end, it's like, let's step on the gas while we're at the edge of the cliff. No one knows our sadness but us. What seems like rock bottom's actually our way out. It's kind of building that atmosphere of like overcoming and becoming a part of this pure flow. So I'm just excited to see kind of what this album entails from such a cinematic kind of intro track. It's very interesting. Obviously not how I was kind of expecting to start, kind of have this dialogue in it, but I like it. It's painting the scene for me. Song 2, Boom Pala. Oh. Macarena. Okay. SSERAFIM. Okay. SSERAFIM.
You cannot down to the clouds in the air. A boom bala boom bala boom bala wake up saying hi to the mirror.
Okay.
Trying to find the light where the fear were. Baby, say goodbye if you see her. She's only an illusion, don't feed her. Baiting up all
Okay.
the drama. Stabbing the sham from manana. Pulse for a second like on
Alright. I like this. Okay. 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 On the daily. Okay. Ooh. I like this. Boom pala. Okay. 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 See, I didn't know what to expect, especially kind of with that intro, you know, that atmospheric, how can I describe it? The intro to this. You know, it's like a manifesto in a way I see it. Obviously I don't know the group too well, but it kind of just gives off the vibe of like stepping into maybe a new era, or just a new maybe not sound, but like, yeah, just stepping in a new life in a way, in any kind of way. That's just how a new viewer takes it. But then this is just like kind of that pure party energy, where obviously it's inspired by, do I even need to say it? Hey Macarena. And then the hook, you know, kind of gets into that. And it has that, you know, it has that in it, right? It's just kind of like pure, but like mellow at the same time, like party energy, like a kickback party energy with all of your closest friends. That's kind of the vibe this gives me. Not nothing too big, but it's just like people you genuinely enjoy your time with most. But yeah, I liked it. That's not necessarily the second track I was expecting to kind of entail after that purely like cinematic intro, but I mean, it kind of captures that, like, I don't know, unpredictability that they were kind of referring to in the first. But okay, banger. I like that. I like that a lot. Celebration, song 3. Okay, maybe a little faster pace. Okay. Okay. It's building. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Fearless 2.0. Run again. I like this. Seraphim on the way. Okay.
Bring it back now.
Okay. I got some EDM to them. I like the build. It's simple, but like we gotta run again. Okay. Seraphim on the way. Ooh. See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about this album's rollout, but if I were the group, this would be the lead single just because of this line alone. Seraphim on the way. Oh my gosh, that hits. But yeah, okay, that was a banger. I like that. It was kind of simple in the sense of like the build up and the hook of the celebrate and then the Seraphim on the way, right? It was kind of simple to that, and then even like the EDM kind of drop. It was kind of short, but what I do like is that it just like the way I see it in the context of the album so far, especially after that super cinematic kind of intro. The production's bright, euphoric in a way, but it still has this like a little bit of like emotional undertone to it, which, you know, we obviously saw the emotions running high in the intro, right? But yeah, I mean, kind of delving into what the lyrics are a little more. You know, it doesn't lack necessarily, but obviously, you know, a lot of the song was the hook, and the EDM kind of feel to it. But like what you can sense from it, from that emotional undertone and like the other words they were saying, especially the Korean moments, you know, it's kind of just like pushing past the pressure, or you know, just stuff that comes with like just fame or being in their position. Obviously, I know this girl group is huge. I'm not obviously the most. I mean, they have a collab with Overwatch. Like you have to be like, you know, so yeah, it's definitely good. I do like that. I like it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's not necessarily what I was expecting, but there is this heavy kind of emotional undertone. There is. So I'm excited to see how they build on that throughout the albums or throughout the album. Song 4, Creatures. Okay. 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 Head. Okay. Okay. I like the little rock sound. Oh, maybe that's where I say that from. Dance, dance, dance. Okay. Make ya. Okay. Creatures. How do we feel? Do you think they want us to make how do I put that? Do you think they want us to make our heads bang? But no. Creatures. Okay. Um Interesting. I like it. It's just a lot of the chorus. It's very danceable. That's what I've kind of noticed throughout this album. I just kind of, how do I put it? It's like I'm not disappointed at all. That's not, but I'm just like lacking a word. I'm not disappointed, but I feel like the intro kind of built it up to be something so far that hasn't been seen through all the way. And so I don't know if I'm maybe it's just like, you know, my first time kind of thing and I'm just not getting it to the same extent. But I wish that it has been built upon a little more than I feel like it has. Because like I was saying, it's super atmospheric, and maybe it's just this song in particular. You know, I like the kind of not conforming to like public expectations they've kind of depicted as well. And I mean the instrumental in this was killer. It was good. It literally, I was not in my head along the whole time. I was making my head bang the whole time. And so I do like it in that regard. I just kind of feel like for something that was so atmospheric in the beginning, it's kind of just not hit me in the same light. And maybe that's just this one song in particular I just wasn't onto as well. Because I definitely like the first two songs for me is getting added. And this song I definitely don't think is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's good, and you know, it made my head bang. It did what it wanted to, right? But I wish it just kind of built on that kind of undertone from the last one I was depicting of like it being a little more emotional. But I still like it either way. Iffy, song 5.
I was looking at me, 거울 속에 비친 견뎌버린 얼굴, yeah, I'm not okay.
Okay.
Wanna bless my way, 정답 따윈 없지. 다시 시작해도 돼 like new birthday.
Okay, see, this one has it a little more. Bless me? Okay. Okay, see. This one definitely feels more fitting for the intro to me. And I do, yeah, I like this. I definitely like it. Don't get me wrong. That is not something to be twisted. Okay. bless me, bless me. Wow, I wish this was longer. Damn. Damn, man. See, I was really feeling that one. I like that. That might be my favorite of the bunch so far, but it's a little too short. It's a little too short. But okay. Okay, I like this because even though it's short, it delivers from the last song a little more introspective. You know, it kind of captures that emotional undertone I was talking about, but then like uncertainty in it as well. It's like kind of like trying to appear confident on the outside, even though you're facing things on the inner side. You're iffy, right? And I feel like the softer kind of production just makes it hit all the most harder. You know, it's funny because they definitely have this distilled confidence to them as well, but they are really getting these undertones I was depicting. And so I do like that, you know. It really is. I mean, it matches the title of this song, right? It's an iffy feeling. It's like it's an iffy feeling. And so I like that. I think it kind of, this track certainly kind of just, maybe not the definition outright, but like very well alludes to how I have been feeling throughout the album, in the sense of like the start. Wait, that comes off the wrong way. I don't feel iffy about the album and like how it sounds and whatnot. It's just like it's that feeling they put in me from the beginning, in the sense of like having the confidence but not all at the same time, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Need Your Company, song 6. Okay.
No one really knows me. Nobody understands, I know. I'm thinking in a selfish way, but on my lows, I just can't
Okay.
help it. No one really knows me. 가끔은 나조차도 지나친 길이지만 알아주길 바랄 때가 많았어. It's friendship or just for show. I hope we think I lost in my head, 뻔히 진심이 모양은 달라도 느껴지진 not so real. Tell me what I shouldn't feel. Show me the way 너와 나 우리 더 사귈 수 있을까. I need your company.
Okay.
No matter how you hurt me. 어떻게 너 없이 날 설명할 수 없어 다신. I need your company. 넌 나에게 somebody. 어떻게 네 온기로 채웠잖아 내 옆자리. I need your company. No one really knows me, but inside I really wish it could be.
Damn.
You're to kill my gun and understand me. 허리처럼 but stitching out a piece. I really wanna trust you. No one really knows me. No one really knows you. I need your company. 너도 말해도 that you hurt me.
Bang. Bang. See, that's what I needed from them, but see, so short. But I understand that's kind of a common theme with girl groups or just groups in general. In this scene, you know, they have some short songs, but yeah, wow, that was intimate, and you know, it's I mean, obviously the title's Need Your Company, and it's just kind of that human moment that everyone feels, you know, instead of like this kind of chasing confidence and struggling with inner things. You know, the song kind of focuses on connection and wanting someone to stay close. You know, I like that vulnerable, gentle, and just comforting song that, you know, that is, especially in context of some of the themes depicted throughout this album so far. But it's so good, and oh, it's such a good song, but it's so short. So short. I could have done with like an extra 25 seconds. Beggars Can't Be Choosers, but that song was fantastic. Sonder, song 7. I do like that one a lot, though. I do like that one a lot.
Someone smiles, someone cries. 관심 없어 내 안에 갇힌 나.
Daily motions, 각자의 life. 그 안에 세상 now I realize.
닫혀 있던 문이 열리듯이 나와 끝이 너란 우주는
Okay.
어떤 의미인지 너와 here.
깊은 슬픔 아픈 너의 걱정 고민 야망까지 Sonder, Sonder 느껴져 존나.
I like that.
느껴 모든 이야기는 wonder, wonder, hit me like thunder. 지독히 날 괴롭히던
I have a unique comparison to this part.
우주였지 wonder, wonder, hit me like thunder. So thunder, so thunder, so thunder. In my head I wonder, wonder. In your world, yeah. Why you love, why you fight? 너의 사소한 행복까지도 너란 세계 복잡해도 내 우주를 빛나게 몇천 배로
Okay.
내가 전부 허물어진 그
Ooh, vocals.
I could see I let go 모든 시기와 이시
I need to talk about that too, actually.
깊은 슬픔 아픈 너의 걱정 고민 야망까지 Sonder, Sonder 느껴져 좀 더 헤엄치듯 몸으로 느껴 모든 이야기는 wonder, wonder.
I like that part. That flow.
지독히 날 괴롭히던 새까만 밤을 밝히는 것 이름 모를 별 아닌 저마다의 우주였지 wonder, wonder. Hit me like thunder. So thunder, so thunder, so thunder. In my head I wonder,
Wow, wow.
wonder, wonder.
It's very dreamy. Okay. Very dreamy, very atmospheric. It kind of feels like I'm walking through literally the album cover. Or like, imagine like some of the songs on this album would be perfect for like walking through like, I know it's obviously like, you know, the easiest place to say, but like Seoul or Tokyo and like seeing all the bright lights late at night, just walking through listening to stuff. So, like that would be like peak human experience for me personally. But that was a great song. You know, I do really like the themes they kind of have gotten into on this album. You know, it's like it kind of just makes you think that even though like this group is so big in its own, and you know they have a lot of things going for them in that sense, you know, everyone can have a life that is, you know, complex or hard even, you know, and that's a very connecting thing, especially when you see, you know, idols or K-pop idols. Are they? I don't know. I'm saying that term loosely, but you know, it feels reflective and like even like philosophical in a way. You know, it's just thinking about life, right? You know, it's everyone kind of carries their own personal demons, their own struggles, and you know, even though the song is so dreamy, it's also emotional at the same time, right? And that's what they also have done really well throughout the album, is kind of depict these themes in such like an airy, atmospheric way, especially in certain songs. And that is one of my favorite sounds. I also have a comparison to a specific part, this kind of like different sound. It's like it, that sound right there, the like kind of like robotic atmosphere to it. Imogen Heap, that's my favorite artist of all time. Frou Frou, you've definitely heard a song on TikTok from Imogen Heap if you don't recognize the name. Wow, I like that a lot. That is my favorite artist ever, and it's reflective um to music I've connected to very personally and really come to love. Um, and so even though it's like a comparison I never thought I would have made, um, it just the sound it sounds like it. What specific song? What specific song can I compare that part to? I think I want to say from Imogen Heap. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Okay. Hide and Seek. Hide and Seek, definitely. Oh, people would know Hide and Seek. You know the Jason Derulo song where it's like, "What you say?" That's the sample. Imogen. That's the sample. All right, now we're on to Saki featuring Aaliyah's Interlude. Okay. I'm not familiar with Aaliyah either, to be honest. I don't think.
1-800.
I'm gonna call this. Oh.
Walking down the street, stilettos on the beat, blowing on my phone. Who the heck's Saki?
Saki. My bad. Saki.
Just to get a peek, got your boy you want. It's the air I breathe.
Okay. Confidence. Okay. Okay. Dopamine, definitely. I like the sound effects, or I don't know. Okay. Saki.
Walking down the street, stilettos on the beat, blowing on my phone.
Okay.
Who the heck's the key?
Okay.
Cars crashing on the road just to get a peek. Message at the tone, but I hit delete.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is like a turning point in the album into like this sense of like just profound confidence. You know, from the past kind of vulnerable songs that we've heard. Is this something? This isn't something I would particularly go back to be honest, in the sense of like listening to it as a standalone song compared to a lot of the others. But with that being said, I do like it. You know, it kind of has that "we are who we think we are" kind of, not entitlement to it, but like, you know, just that confident identity, maybe a little cocky, but you know, rightfully so. You know, being cocky. I don't think being cocky is a bad thing. That might be a hot take, But I don't think I'm too cocky, but like I don't think being cocky or like overly confident in yourself is a bad thing, right? Especially if it's not like undermining or bringing down anyone else. That's how I mean that. But you know, it's confident. It has this unique style to it. I like the sound effects in the back. And it has this kind of like high schooly rebellious kind of attitude to it. And definitely a change in pacing and atmosphere from what we have heard. But I like the, I guess like experimental aspect to it in sense of the album. Um, so yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be like if there's gonna be kind of like a switch. Saki. Um, but yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be a little switch. Um, kind of in the songs we hear following. I think we have that was song 9, so or 8. So we're on to 9, 10, and then 11's the outro. So yeah, 2 songs left. So let's see if there's any change. But interesting song. Saki, irony. Okay. Okay. I like the instrumentals a lot too. I don't even know how to describe the instrumental. 당연히. I don't even. Who is this? Actually, well. Okay. Who are those last 2 girls? Hey. Like it. Banger. That might be my favorite kind of like banger track of the album. Those last 2 girls, the way they kind of like caught a flow and then like intertwined it onto each other, that was crazy. I like that. Just like the little connection there. I'm just curious. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I know any of the girls just like off the top of my head or their names. But those last 2 caught me. In the sense of just like the way the way the song ended, it just worked. It just worked. But yeah, this one kind of feels a little more. I mean, yeah, a change of pace in the album, a little more detached emotionally than songs previous. But I don't know. The sleek production, the pacing, yeah, that's just outright banger for me. I mean, what more can I really say about that? I really enjoyed that one. That one, just straight banger. You know, it's kind of ironic in the sense of the album of like, you know, we had these kind of slow songs with, you know, undertones to it, but in the last 2 it's just changed, kind of flipped on its head completely and has this cocky confidence to it. Yeah, I quite like that. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like it. So fair enough. We're on to song 10, Trust Exercise. I like that last instrumental was my favorite of the bunch, definitely. For the bangers, at least. Okay. Airy again. Okay. Oh. Vocals. Okay. Okay. Banger. Airy, dreamy kind of matches in with that vibe that we've seen throughout some of them. But like I said, ever since Saki, it just kind of had this like profound sense of like outright confidence, you know, like I was saying, cockiness to it in a way. It's, you know, I was saying, I think that's a good thing. They are who they think they are, kind of thing. That's how I perceive that. But you know, going into this song, I thought Trust Exercise, I kind of completely took it the other way. I thought it was kind of wrap around, come full circle in a way, and kind of, you know, depict what we saw a little more of in the earlier tracks. But yeah, Trust Exercise, I mean, it sounds like a song where it's kind of, they've lowered their guard from previous of like doubt, and just kind of, you know, come to that feeling. So I like that. And so I'm just excited to see how the outro song kind of closes things. But yeah, this was a great song. I like this. I definitely think how do I'll get into it in the end, because I do have good things to say. Oh. Hold up. Let me put it. Oh, Yoonjin. Wait, I know Yoonjin. Yoon Chae Hong, Yoonjin, Kim Chae Won, Sakura. I recognize Yoonjin and Sakura. Is it four girls? Kazuha. Okay, I'm just gonna let the YouTube automate it. I'm trying to follow along best I can, so I'm just kind of like reading with.
그건 진짜 명연하긴 해. 나도 울었어. 진짜 울었다고? 수업하면서. 우리의 얘기 뭐지? 우리가 어떻게 더 사귈 수 있을까? 이제 시작은 그래. 오해하겠어 사람들이. 내가 너 얼마나 언니가 얼마나
그런 막 각자 멤버의 그 생각이 너무 잘 담긴. 근데 역대급 이 얘기를 많이 해서.
피아노 좋아할 것 같아. 기대된다. 어떤 반응이?
이게 무슨 얘기지? 진짜 모르겠다. 이게. 그러니까 사람들이
하고 있나요?
잘하잖아.
잘 보여주겠지. 안에 돼 있어.
안에 돼 있어. 어쩔 수 없어. 문발라.
문발라.
어디로 가고 있지?
That was a good song.
목적지가 있긴 한 거야.
그치. 우리가 바라는 목적지. 일찍 가고. 일단 가보고. 일단 이동.
I like this.
근데 여기 어디가?
Wow. Okay. SSERAFIM. Okay. I like that, you know, kind of just an ending conversation between the members and like reflecting on how much they maybe not changed, but like grown, and you know, the times that they've shared together. You know, I like it. It has that kind of unfinished, vulnerable, emotional setting that we saw. That came full circle for me. You know, it's like a perfectly human feeling. You know, rather than that kind of like super confident display they put on throughout the last few songs. Yeah, it ends with the question, where are we going? You know, which kind of reflects back to what my first sentence of this kind of outro part. You know, it's how much they've grown. Where are they gonna go? Where are we going? Which obviously I don't know if they meant that like literally, if they were on the way somewhere, but you know, it makes sense to me. I see it in a way of making sense that it shows how they've grown and where they continue to do so. But yeah, that was Pureflow Part 1 by SSERAFIM. They said it, but I just doubt myself. They impressed me a lot. I definitely need to come back to this group, and I definitely plan to do so. But I genuinely don't know how much is in their catalog. But yeah, guys, that was Pureflow Part 1 by SSERAFIM. You know, this album has moments of like chaotic, emotional, confident, vulnerable, all at once, you know, which I think makes it so interesting. You know, it has songs like Boom Palazzo, like super reflective, kind of, I guess, yeah, like a coming to ending of liminal space, which I know that it's not a song, but you know, it just kind of makes sense. You know, it's really an album that consists of those vulnerable moments, but ultimately, you know, like all I was saying, the chaotic, confident, vulnerable, emotional moments that really is a part of that journey of growth and, you know, even change. But yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite track was in the comments, because I'm curious. There's definitely a song for multiple kind of vibes. So yeah, but if you guys did enjoy this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, because I really did. I was talking about the album. I really enjoyed the album. But if you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment, subscribe. And thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.